Hey, what's going on? This is Reed, aka Carnivore Chef, and this is the fourth video of my 8-week cut, so that means it's the fourth week. This will probably be a fairly short video just because this week I've been traveling and out of town, and while I did prepare, it hasn't been perfect. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen that and seen me complaining, so here's some progress pictures from the beginning of the week. I have a feeling they're not going to be great next video that comes out for the 5th week, but even though I haven't been eating exactly how I should be, still feel moderately good. Even though typically when I eat like garbage in the middle of eating very healthy for a long time, it takes me a while to recover. But for whatever reason, it hasn't taken me nearly as long to recover this time, and I'm pretty grateful for that because it's hard to go from feeling really good to feeling like crap for multiple days in a row. But I think part of it is that I don't go as hard as I used to. With like a cheat day or something, because I would have full cheat days where, like I remember at the beginning of this diet, I had a full cheat day where I made pizza dough. I even made a video on it. And that day I ate like 4 to 5 pan pizzas and pasta, and I was basically ruined for a full week after that. And I think after that one in particular, I learned a lesson. Don't make a full day out of eating. It's not a fun day, like I want to be able to do things after I'm done eating. Despite being on the road, I've stayed pretty active. I think that probably helped contribute to me not feeling like complete shit. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I said I would prepare a bunch of food, which I did. I prepared 10 pounds of burgers and 2.5 pounds of bacon. I kept it in a cooler. Oh, and I kept coffee in there. I kept it in a cooler, and honestly, I ate that for the first 3 days. On the 4th day, I couldn't do it anymore. And then on the 5th day, I was a little wary of the burgers, so I kind of just tossed those. But I still ate, 75% of those burgers and like about the same amount of bacon. So it was worth it. It kept me from, going to some place I didn't need to more often. So it did its job. I was prepared. I was prepared physically. I wasn't prepared mentally. But either way, this whole trip was to go to one restaurant, so Tuesday I arrived in Charleston, and the hotel I was staying at had a pretty, decent little gym. Nothing crazy, no barbells or anything, but there were some moderately heavy dumbbells and some kettlebells and treadmills and stuff. So my main goal for Tuesday was just to get steps in, and I've been trying to get 10,000 steps in every single day. So I just hit the treadmill and got the last few thousand steps in before I went to bed. And the next day I woke up and did a kind of circuit with dumbbells, but it was just like a basic like squat, bench press row kind of thing, but something I would have done anyways, but just much lighter weights and different muscles being used. And that was the same day that I went out to eat at this restaurant. The whole reason I took this trip was to go to this restaurant because I've been wanting to eat at it for a couple of years now. And I don't know if it's just me being overexcited for it or what, but it was probably the best food I've ever eaten. It was just simple food, and it was definitely not carnivore, but here's some pictures of it. It's called Husk, and it was on Queen Street in Charleston, South Carolina. I highly suggest that if you are a foodie or just interested in very, very fancy Southern food, I would highly suggest it. It was worth it. It was well worth the trip alone. But other than that, it was just really good food. And the service was outstanding. And as a chef and kitchen manager, I appreciated it probably a little more than most would. So kudos to them for having such an awesome team and really great chef who makes interesting food. It was really good. So I showed up in Asheville on Thursday, and it was very nice. It's easy to walk around, and there's a lot to see. I made the fatal flaw for getting a jacket, which I had prepared, and it was sitting on my couch, and that's where it still is. So my main goal for when I got to Asheville was find a jacket or a hoodie or something. And that first night I was pretty beat, so I just kind of hung out in the hostel I was staying at, and that was a whole experience in its own. Next day I got up, went out, and just looked for a jacket. I'm still a big man, and it's really hard to find something that fits me already, but I finally found something at Dick's Sporting Goods. I spent the rest of the day just kind of adventuring. I went and ate breakfast. I don't remember the spot. It was, it was pretty good. It felt like a little touristy spot though, so it's whatever. Met up with a friend later on, and we went to a few breweries and hung out and ate food. And you'll see all these pictures. They should be flowing by right now. Just because I'm on a carnivore diet doesn't mean I still don't appreciate flavors of other things, but I now understand the deficiencies that they cause me personally, so it's not like I'm going to be stuck eating this. And I think that's important for people to understand as well. I know what my goals are and where I want to be, so it's not like I'm going to be stuck with this forever. But yeah, right now I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee. I really just wanted to come here just to kind of buffer myself back into real life because I go back to work this week at some point, and I just needed a good break for myself just to get back into carnivore and not worry about what I'm going to be eating that day, you know. So like even yesterday, I got here and I was like, I gotta get the local food, and, you know. I just found like a random cheap Chinese buffet that had a hibachi. I was like, oh, I can get I can just get the beef and eggs on there, and they can cook that. And then I remember thinking, oh, I could just walk through the buffet line and grab, like 1 or 2 cream cheese rangoons. Oh, and then luckily, as I was thinking that, I passed by a McDonald's and I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna go and get some cheap cheeseburgers and eat this. You know what? It was actually more satisfying that I had that than I think I would have ever gotten from the Chinese buffet. Well, anyways, that's the video. If you like this video, please leave me a like. And if you want to see more, please consider subscribing. I have a Patreon now, and if you're interested in that, the link is down in the description below. I'm gonna get myself ready to start heading back home to Alabama, so I will see y'all soon.